I would like to know what the right age is. At when do you teach racism to children? And how do you teach it in a way so that it doesn't create hate?
It's good because it's funny.
Cool. Hi everyone, welcome to the Munch and Gas podcast. This is podcast number 2.
Oh yeah.
You are joined by the co-host Jeff, Junior, Mega, Blaze.
You
man.
took it all the way.
Wait, is that how many nicknames you have?
No, Mega's it.
Blaze.
So, if you know me through the ends or through music, you know me as Blaze.
Blaze, man, calling for danger of horny, number little mass murder ratch.
Yeah.
MC days.
Or if you're any of the Mrs. family, you all know me as Blaze because you know me since I was a youth. But working life, I'm Junior, so both.
Okay.
But to make it, I'm Nigerian, so I'm allowed to have at least 8.
8.
And I'm down to 2, so it's alright. It's not that bad.
And welcome to the podcast, our guest, Cheryl. Or do I call you Cherylina? Is that your
It's
tag?
Cheryl. Cheryl, please.
Cheryl
yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Is that how how do people refer to you?
To be fair, a lot of people call me Cherylina.
And you like that?
Do you know what? It doesn't bother me. It just it is what it is.
Is that your full name?
No, it's
Where did it come
Cheryl Quantic. I'm just gonna wait. Can I just state that Cheryl Quantic I'm the only Cheryl Quantic in the world?
I don't believe that for a second.
I googled it.
That doesn't mean anything.
I googled it.
Google it, fam.
Google it. Cheryl Quantic is the only one unless one of the other Quantics, because it's quite a small family. Unless someone else names their child Cheryl with the surname Quantic, there's no one else but me. I'm the only one in the world.
Where's it from?
It's from Somerset. Because you've got the
Quantic in Somerset.
yeah, well you've got the Quantock Hills.
Quantock.
Yeah, so basically what happened?
Fascinating.
We're hella educational right now. So
This is
No, so what
fascinating.
happened was throughout time there was a family called the Quantocks. And
so
then,
we just started this thing and we're doing geography and history at the same
This
time.
isn't where I wanted to go anyway.
listen.
But
Detour.
Let's
no,
go.
But
I'm just letting you know.
yeah, you
So-
tell me. Explain.
During whatever time and people writing and obviously you had the ink paper, it just got confused with Quantic. So then the name of changed.
You got confused.
Not like
Sorry.
literally with people obviously where they had to write in ink and stuff and they just kept spelling it wrong. So it just translated into Quantic.
because of the ink or because of the spelling capability?
Who knows? I don't know, but probably both.
I'm hella confused.
Probably both.
Someone with special needs. It's just fine.
I don't know.
That's the ancestry you're talking about. Right?
All right.
Back on
Sorry
track.
about
Cool.
that, yeah.
Good story. Thank you. That was,
Quantics.
yeah.
Quantic.
Cherylina. So,
Yes.
thanks for coming. There are specific reasons why I wanted you to be part of this and join, and we wanted to pick your brain about certain things, especially with everything that's going on in the world at the moment.
Yep.
And I know you've been quite progressive with a few things, but we'll get into that. I want to start off with an icebreaker. Not that I think we need one anymore.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
But today's icebreaker is: what is the worst style sort of mistake you've ever made, where you've gone out in public, you've been in public and your style was, you messed up, like, and what you're wearing was just, or you had an accident, like a wardrobe malfunction or something like that?
Ooh.
Can't ask me this question.
I'm going to go...
I'm a styled one. I never made a mistake in my life.
Up,
Are you?
man.
What's wrong with you?
Shut up, man.
This is basically like
this
Paris
guy
Fashion
is-
Week, front row, everything.
What are you talking
And that's
about?
just in a hoodie and jeans.
Oh, stop
Mistakes.
Yes, bruv.
Nah.
Where you just don't...
What, you mean like when I was a kid or something?
Yes, bruv. All time, okay? All time.
I remember my mum dressed me in this outfit that looked a bit like a fish tank.
Wait, how old are you?
I mean, I was quite young.
See, but you...
We're talking about
think,
now.
But I think that you will have something more recent that's... No.
That was a draw out. That was a draw out. I don't know why. That was unnecessary.
Jeff, I thought we was friends.
What's happening?
No, not like that. Not like that. I'm talking about like over the last like 10, 15 years. I don't know.
I mean, I've had like a hole in my leggings before. Does that count?
It does, but I just think you've got something more. There's something there.
I say it's something there.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Wait, so have you finished it? Have you?
Oh, I've had a show. I've had a show like where I've been dancing
for
and
it.
malfunction.
Go for
Like my trousers are like falling down.
What, as you're dancing?
Yeah, so I'm having to like come off stage. Just that was Michael Jackson move.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
we call
good.
it.
Coming straight off stage, button undid, zips coming undone. The only thing that was holding it was my hips. So I'm pretty grateful for those.
But you made it off stage.
But I made it off
with
stage.
your dignity.
Absolutely.
Did you fix
Well
it? Did you
done.
repair it?
Actually, no, I've got a different story.
Oh, see,
Oh.
the meaty.
So the drawer was warranted.
So wait, right? I was wearing these trousers once for a show, and the whole back from the back all the way under split.
What? Down
And
the
imagine
middle?
that I didn't know until I
wait.
come off stage.
Down the middle.
Yeah.
Shit.
And imagine the whole time I'm on stage, I didn't even know, and the audience are just looking at me like,
Nice, yeah. What was the round of applause saying?
look, it was good.
Yeah,
It was,
of course it was.
it was a
Of
good
course
round of applause.
Of course it was.
It went until I come off, and I was like, guys, did no one see? They were like, "Fuck, why am I looking at your vagina while I'm dancing?" I was like, oh, all right, yeah, all right. Fact, all right.
The round of applause.
Wow.
Was it?
Wowza.
But yeah, that's what
Awkward
happened to
design
me.
in my trouser.
That's what happens.
Junior,
But,
what's
yeah,
yours?
come on, behave.
Oh, come on, bruv. Be real, man.
Have you ever,
You've-
okay,
you've
fancy
dished it
dress?
up.
Have you ever done any like?
Okay, no, maybe something that was a bit. I've had a leather blazer.
Okay.
So this was the time when I
A
was at.
leather blazer.
Yeah, listen, I'll get there. This was the time when I was at LA Fitness. Don't get me twisted. This is still an Armani leather blazer. When I get to the end of the story, you'll understand. But it was actually.
Fucking blazer, bruv.
Yeah, I
You're
feel like I
sweating.
need to do it more justice.
do you have a picture?
You sure it wasn't PVC?
No. What? From Armani? So anyway, this was the LA Fitness times, and this is like South Kent. So I'm like South Kent done. And as normal, I tend to make good out of situations I'm in. So things are getting mashed. Because of that, there's a bit of frivolous nature with funds coming in. So this is one trip. It's up to King's Road, and like, gosh, the guy or the manager in the Armani shop was linked in, so we did a couple deals. So prices was nice.
Right.
So anyway, I'm trying to do style done, and there's this fitted leather blazer, yeah, and it's got like this material collar and cuffs.
I can't.
And
I can't.
And it's the worst thing is I wore this thing twice. If I told you how much I paid for it, and I still had like a 50% discount, and guy, we're talking this.
How much?
It's over a bag. Anyway, no, it wasn't. It was 7 something.
What?
It was 7 something, and that was half price. So I'm doing style done, and when I wore it out, I was approached by a different sort of female. It was interesting. So I've worn it twice. I won't be wearing it again, but maybe that's the one. The worst thing is I would wear it because it's actually stylish.
What did you wear it with? Like, what was the fit? What was the whole fit?
Trainers. No way you wore shoes.
No, you had to. I had to wear shoes.
You had to. You wore shoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was probably V-neck t-shirt.
I wonder if you've only
Okay.
worn it twice. If you had to wear shoes, no wonder you've only worn it twice. Because you don't.
Did you wear it
He
with
doesn't
shoes?
wear shoes. He doesn't do shoes.
Me either.
Oh, what the hell
We-
is going on here?
Special occasions, you wear shoes.
I don't wear.
Outside of work, you don't wear shoes, bruv. Exactly.
I want to argue over this, but I can't because you're right.
Exactly.
But yeah, so maybe like a V-neck t-shirt, probably a white V-neck t-shirt, black jeans, shoes, and the black blazer. And this is the South Kent Chelsea road days. The man was doing things.
Nice.
Okay.
So yeah, that's me.
Well done on those,
That's me.
on those things.
You're,
Well done.
yeah, Thanks.
Mine.
A lot of stuff.
Mine.
Yeah. Come on, Jeff.
I'll be quick about mine because we've had education bits and
Yeah.
PVC blazers and stuff.
Man is going on the PVC. You know, I'm gonna bring just for that. I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna bring it out again one more time. One more time.
Not for me, or not.
Yeah, well,
Not for me.
We'll see. Next episode.
Next episode, I was going to say that.
For me, okay, so this was back in the day when I was playing football. I was a young, reckless youth.
The worst thing is, I've got something for you.
Oh, stop it! Don't. This is not.
I
your
just,
time.
you know what I always remember about you, Jeff? Like, just you always wore suits. I always feel like I don't know. I feel like I always felt like I saw you in
that time.
some kind of fit.
How long ago did we last even see each other? That's like.
Do you know what I feel like?
15
I feel
years.
like mentally,
10?
he's been in Essex for a long time.
Hey, let me get, hey.
The whole thing.
Hey.
He's been there for a long time, so that's probably what you're referring to.
Okay, alright.
Hey, I've played
whole suit
football
thing.
in Hertfordshire and Essex for a large portion of my life. So yes. But hey.
Alright.
So yeah, I went out in Watford actually, not Essex, Watford, and I went out with Michael Dean, and I think it was like one of the first times I'd like proper like gone out, and he was like, "Yeah, come out, let's go out." And I didn't really know what to wear, what to do. Like I was just a bit. I'd gone out couple of times, but you know, every time I'd gone out.
Am I meant to know who this is?
Nah.
Yeah, you said Michael Dean like we knew. So anyway.
So a lot of the times I'd been out, I'd gone to like cameos or like KO and Wood Green and stuff like that, like reckless days.
I have no idea about any of those.
I do. KO used to go off. Wait, KO used to go off.
KO was the one in Wood Green. It was tiny,
Boy.
but it was the one. Anyway,
Boy.
so Michael Dean was like, "Yeah, let's go Watford."
You've come so far.
In it. So we go to Watford and we went to, where did we go? Area, I think it's called in Watford. Have you been to Area before?
Yeah, I think I have, yeah.
It was sick. R&B bashment. Sick. Loved it. But it was like a bit classy. It was a bit upper class. You know what I mean? A little bit, not much. So anyway, my first time to one of those like types of clubs, so I was like 18, 19. So I go to the club. I get dressed like whatever I'm wearing. I go to the club. And then Michael Dean's meeting some girls. And
Why are you saying his full name as well?
That's how it's hard to call him. That's how I know him. That's how just because it's football. It's like we call him Michael Dean. Do you know Michael Dean?
Football terms are weird.
So
anyway, go on.
Anyway, so we got in and like he was meeting a couple of girls there. So we go in, and then after about 20 minutes, he pulls me to the side. He goes, "Bruv, what are you doing?" I was like, he's like, "What are you doing?" It's me. What? Because you think you're Michael Jackson? I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "What do you mean?"
A violation.
And he goes, "Oh, you got black jeans on with white socks and like white shoes. Like, what are you doing?" And like my jeans kept on riding up because they were quite tight.
So I started this thing off by saying mentally he's been in Essex for a long time.
Okay.
You understand now? Alright.
Anyway, so this was time ago. So he's like, "Bruv, like your white socks, like you look like Michael Jackson." So I'm in the club and I didn't realise like the effects my outfit was having.
What do you mean?
Under the strobe light.
So I had black shoes on, white socks, and black jeans that were kept on riding up when I was dancing, bro. So it looked like I was wearing squinders. I looked like Michael Jackson for real. And he just put it to me.
For real?
So for the rest of the time, I just put my hands in my pockets and I kept on trying to push it down and I just stopped.
What happens when the UV light hit those white socks?
It, man. Listen. I learned a valuable lesson that day. Never again.
You should have just done a routine or something.
Never again. I need to turn off this washing machine.
You think it's going to pick it up?
Probably. Cherylina, how are you?
I'm very good, thank
You
you.
married yet? You in a relationship? What's going on?
Straight there.
Straight in, literally. Woo. Yes, I'm in a relationship.
Damn.
I'm not married though, and I don't have any children yet.
Why are you not married yet? I thought you'd be married by now.
What makes you think that?
I don't know, like you seem very... I don't know. You seem to know what you want in that sort of.
Yeah.
arena.
No, I do want to get
marriage
married.
important for you?
Growing up, I never, and like, you've got girls that literally plan their wedding from a young age. They know that they want to get married, whereas that was never a thing for me. I knew that I wanted someone there, and I wanted that type of commitment, but I didn't see marriage as, like what you're just signing a bit of paper. Like, what does that? But obviously, as I've got older, your mindset changes about those things. It still wouldn't bother me though if I never got married. Like, if I never ever got married, it wouldn't bother me. Like, And if I do get married, I don't want a big wedding. Like, I'd actually prefer to go just me and him, go to a different country, get married, and just come back and have a party. Like, I'm not paying out all that money for someone to come to my wedding and moan about my food.
But what if you had the money?
It would still be a no. I'm not.
If money wasn't
weddings
an
are
issue,
for everyone else nowadays. They're not for you.
But if money, it's like.
No, I'm being serious. Weddings are for everyone else nowadays. They're not for you.
Listen. If money wasn't an issue, why would you care about what people thought about the food?
I'm not saying I don't care what people think.
Because don't come to my establishment and try to talk bad over
See what
what
he's saying?
Listen,
You see what he's saying?
Don't jump on each other's.
I'm just
No,
talking
no.
about why someone shouldn't talk bad on the
because
food.
he's got his own agenda.
Because that's £100 a plate. They
Listen,
can't talk bad on
He's got his own
Jeff,
agenda.
it's a thing. Jeff, it's a thing, yeah? People go to people's weddings and it's almost like they've got a notebook. Oh, look at her dress. Oh, it's a nice venue, isn't it? Like, people have got opinions, fam. You're not going to stop those
But
opinions.
you know what you do with that? Yeah.
You don't care about it?
No, you don't invite them. It's like, if anyone's going to take that type of view and not be happy for you on one of the biggest, best days of your life, then guess what? There's no seat at any table for you.
Of course, I get that. I understand that. I really, really, really do. But it doesn't matter who it is. People are going to have opinions, and I don't know. I just feel like you waste all of this money on such a big day
But why care about other people?
when it can be more intimate. It's about you two at the end of the day. It's about you two getting married. Like, why do you need all of these big things to clarify your
It doesn't need
marriage?
to be big. Like, I know you said about going away to here. Then I can't.
I feel like she's asking good questions. Just answer
Like,
the
I don't understand why you need a big.
It doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be big. But what's your thought on marriage itself? So forget like the bigness, the church, the food, the notepads, the people talking crap. Like, forget about all of that. The marriage part of it. How do you feel about that? The essence.
I like it. I like that it's a, like, as long as you end up with the right person, it's a level of commitment that you have. It's great. I think marriage is great, but then I look at it like I look at my parents, and I wouldn't want to be in a marriage like my parents. My parents have been married for over 40 years now. And I wouldn't see that as a marriage. I don't see their marriage as a marriage.
Why not? If you don't mind
It's
me
a little
asking.
bit deep. Hopefully my mum don't watch this.
You don't need to go into
Is
details.
she a YouTube person?
Nope.
Is she a YouTube podcast person?
No.
And you're blessed.
I don't know. I just don't feel like... I just feel like they're married now because they probably feel like they couldn't get anyone else better. But I don't particularly think that they're the same people. They don't have the same interests. Sometimes they don't even communicate nicely to each other. Like, there's just that everything that I think a marriage is, like the communication, the understanding, all of that. They don't have that there.
So are they warm with each other?
Yeah, I mean, majority of the time they can be, but then when there's a problem, it's not communicated. It's just left to the last minute.
Okay, let me say it in a different way. Are they loving? Are they affectionate?
No.
Okay.
No, they sleep in the same bed, but they're not affectionate towards each other. Like, I have to message my dad and tell him it's Valentine's Day today. Buy Mum flowers, and he just goes okay and does it. But that's because I've told him to. He doesn't have a romantic bone in his body.
Has he ever been?
No, but that's.
So they've always been the same.
Yeah, they've always.
So here's a question: do they have to be interested in the same thing, or do they just have to balance the other person out?
There definitely has to be a balance, because you have to understand that they're two different people, so you need to have that understanding. But at the same time, there's got to be like a compromise in something, in your balance. Like, you probably are going to do something that you don't want to do, but it's because that person wants to do it.
That's fair.
Like, for instance, my mum does the housework every Saturday.
Yeah.
if we wanted a family day on a Saturday, she'd have to think about it because she's going to do her housework. And now for me, I'm like, can you just not have a day off your housework so we can have a family day? But that's what she wants to do. But obviously, as I'm getting older, I'm realising that she's a little bit OCD. So
it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. But I think she knows as well. Sometimes because she's very organised, she needs things in certain places. So if I left this cup here, I went to the toilet and came back, it'd be gone. I'm like, Mum, what did you do with my drink? She's like, oh, I thought you wasn't drinking it anymore. I went upstairs for 5 seconds. You stole my drink.
So
she's efficient.
Yeah, she is.
So, like, your parents got together, and you're saying that your dad wasn't too dissimilar to the way he is now.
No.
But your mum has.
They had a lot of parties growing up, though.
Yeah, but everyone's in their heyday.
Like a lot of parties.
In their heyday, has your mum changed much, or since they got together? Because what I'm thinking is they've got together knowing what to expect from the other person.
Yeah.
Would that be fair?
That's what I always say to my mum. Like, if I catch my mum moaning about my dad, and I'm like, but has my dad always done that? And she'll say no, and I'm like, so you fully went into this knowing that he has got this trait. So you just have to. You can't moan about it. You just gotta accept it and deal with it. Like,
this is true stories. So do you think that your vision of like marriage? Where do you get your vision for marriage? Is it from Disney? Is it from social media? Is it from Facebook?
Do you know what?
Where does your vision come from? Because who's to say that what your parents have isn't what marriage is?
No, I get that. Everyone's got a different outlook and a different opinion. But I have a bracket of things that I always look at. I'm a sucker for a romantic film. But I also just think it's common sense. Like listening to each other and knowing what each other likes. Because it's not rocket science. And there are couples that I could look at and be like, oh yeah, like they're nice. They've got a great relationship. But you're never really going to know what their actual relationship is like. So I'd probably say more romantic films that I get my marriage outlook from.
You don't think that gives you like a warped vision of what?
Yeah, it can do. That's why you have to take it in.
But do you think you take it in? Because you said you're a sucker for a romantic film.
Yeah, because it's lovely, isn't it? A romantic film is lovely.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
I think this is what's wrong with the world, to be honest. I think
do you?
No, what I'm trying to say is, I think, not just females, but I think...
Females are crazy.
Don't put words like that in my mouth.
No, I'm saying it from my point of view, and I'm a woman.
Okay, you say, not me.
I'm a woman.
So I think, like, TV media, I think there's a lot of programming.
Of course, 100%.
That goes on, and especially in like Disney films or like even rom-coms, it's like it ends a certain way, you talk to people a particular way, you treat people a particular way, relationships end like this. And I think Instagram, not just Instagram, but social media in general is horrific when it comes to giving people false hope, false messaging.
I agree with that.
Even not just with relationships, but like pictures of these models
100%.
airbrushed and all of that.
100%.
And society now is just, their idols have handles. They're on Instagram and they're airbrushing their stuff, and these are the people that they look up to, and they go to a news feed and say,
that's one thing that disturbs me about today. That today's society, like, how are we looking up to people that have had surgery, that are promoting it as... I just don't understand it. I don't understand when people put on their story a picture of Kylie Jenner or someone like that and put goals. I'm like, how is that your goal? Like, I'm a bit confused about your goal right now, because what, do you just want to go and have loads of surgery and make yourself not look like how you looked when you was born? Like, I'm not understand. And I understand some people and some women get really, really depressed and upset about their body. I understand that and I get it. But that's where I think, as a surgeon, obviously they're not going to because they make money from it, but there needs to be a consultation, a level of something in place where you can at least try and get them to self-love first before they have the surgery.
But they get paid for something else. They don't get paid for that. That's why they don't care.
In the last 15 seconds, you guys have said a couple very important things, and we could take up 3 whole podcasts just talking about specific things. But just let me draw one out.
Okay,
In fact, no. Still talking about marriage, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So before I take us on a tangent,
Okay.
you not finish that. I'm going to stay out of this one because...
Well, we're not. Well, we sort of moved on from marriage, haven't we?
so we're done with that, yeah?
Why don't you want to talk about it?
Wait, you don't. You're not ready. Well, okay.
I'm not ready to talk about it.
Okay, all right.
Let's not.
Okay. So
Yeah.
just on that whole depression thing, and from your point of view, there should be some part of the treatment process where before surgery has happened, there should be a self-love or a self-care consultation and make sure that part of the process is... So that is very important, but that doesn't happen because
No,
a surgeon's going to get money to do a specific job and that's his job.
exactly.
But here's the thing. So that chick who is depressed or very depressed over her weight or whatever it is, why shouldn't there be, or why isn't there a system in place to make sure that everything has been done within that person's power to make sure that they can't be in that state? So if you're very, very, very depressed about your weight, start training. No?
Yeah, but you got to understand that some people's mindsets are not in that mindset.
But then the programming and the media doesn't help it. This
But
is
of
what I'm
course.
trying
But this is the problem because it's the narcissism of wanting... So someone who says Kylie Jenner goals, it's the image, it's literally
Yeah.
the picture.
Yeah.
And they haven't seen what she looked like when she was a youth. They haven't seen what she looked like when she was a teenager. They just see the now
Yeah.
looking airbrushed and, oh my God, she's supposedly a billionaire.
to... Oh, they have seen that. And
No,
they've seen the
they
transformation.
haven't, because this is youths. Don't get it twisted.
Okay, well,
Anyone
yeah.
who is 25, hold on, am I about to make a... Hopefully, anyone who is 25 years older is not looking at Kylie Jenner and saying goals.
21, 22?
I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure like she started getting surgery from like 17,
I mean,
16.
have you seen her before photos?
So within the last 5 years, it's
Exactly. So this is the thing. So you're talking about the kids and it's youths and the impressionable people, but it's not anyone that's been able to see her from her younger years because you know what she would look like if she never had £1 billion worth of surgery. So it's just that whole thing of wanting to go from I have a problem,
Yep.
I have a problem for an amount of time, I'm now depressed about said problem, surgery.
Yeah.
When there's a whole 2, 3, 4 steps.
But
that
if they
should have
haven't
happened.
got the right people around them to motivate them in those kind of ways, like it's the easy way out. Most people look for an easy option. They look for an easy way out.
And that's the truth.
It's cheat
So let me
codes.
just deal with it like that, and then I don't have to do the hard work. A lot of people are afraid of hard work.
That's exactly what it is, bruv. They tried that
Hard work
intermittent
and
fasting,
change.
don't work. Then they're like, fuck this, surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I think obviously you've got to remember there's so many diets out there. You always see people on social media promoting these diets. But what we have to remember as well is what diet works for me is not going to work for you, because everyone's body is different. So it's finding something that suits you. So as soon as they don't find that cure, they give up.
I think that's correct in terms of what's right. There's not one size that fits all. But I definitely feel like there's a certain way you could live,
Yeah.
a certain routine you could incorporate
Of
that
course.
would help you 95% of the way.
Yeah.
And if you lived along these moral standards, whatever it is, whatever word you want to put in there, you would definitely lose the weight, be happier, be more confident, all the rest of it. And it's just, it's simple. And not diets, they don't work.
Yeah.
Diets are, it's just a madness.
It's finding a lifestyle, isn't it? That's
Anything that you do short term that you can't prolong for 6 months, a year, you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And that's anything. Ketone, carb, meat.
But
no
sometimes it's just is a trend though, isn't it?
Of course it is.
There's so many different
Let me
things.
just jump on a trend and then it phases out. It's
Everything's
like-
trends, everything's waves, everything is what's buzzy, and that's it. But it's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
But I have an opinion about that sort of thing. So yeah.
You do have an opinion about that sort of thing. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I think that if you want to look a particular way and you want to get to a particular size or shape, I think it's possible. And like you said, it's just hard work. People are scared of hard work, but it's all about your drive, man. It's all about the drive.
Yeah. But I think it's also equally important to have the right people around you. Are you going to have a friend that will say to you and motivate you and to be honest with you and say to you, like, I don't feel like you're looking healthy right now, or just be that honest friend. And not many people have. There's not really real people left in this world.
There's not just but that's a whole nother like conversation about friends that are actually, that you can actually classify as friends, and what is a friend, because I've toyed with that as well, because it's like, a friend is actually someone who actually tells you when you're fucking up, like
100%.
irrespective of what it is, irrespective of what your feelings are. It's like dude, like no.
Like when you do a Shaka Bars post.
Why did you have to roll in the Shaka Bars post into this for, bro?
That's a real friend. That's just a real friend.
Bro,
Carry on.
no, because now you've made it about my post. Now you're talking about my Instagram post. There's nothing wrong with my
You
post.
owe me eyes. That's all I'm saying. You owe me eyes. But if you want to talk on it, talk on it. Because I feel like you need to explain yourself.
Just explain what you want to explain, bro.
So,
this is an issue for you.
It's an issue for me.
So let's clear
I was
the air.
frozen in time looking at this. Literally.
You could have stopped looking at it though.
No, I couldn't. It's like a car crash. You know, it's like you want to look away, but you can't look away. What's happening? So anyway, I'm scrolling. I think it was early as well. It might have been early. I think I saw it the next day or whatever it was. So this is. I haven't fully formulated all thoughts, and I'm scrolling. Hold on. So that's Shaka Bars. I seen him doing that fruit thing, and okay. So when Shaka Bars when he does those sort of posts, he's meaning that for a very specific audience.
Yeah.
That audience ain't me.
Okay.
So you know what to scroll and you know what to look at. But then there's Jeff, and it's like, hold on, they're walking into the room at the same time. And hold on, wait, stop. Has he just done a slow motion transition into in the front of the cat? Hold on, what's going on? Why is he eating fruit in front of that coat? What's happening? Do I need to phone this guy? What am I looking at right now? I'm confused on levels, and there's all these things that are going through my head, and it's so. Talk to me, my guy. Tell me what's happening, because I feel like.
But we've already talked about this.
Tell me again.
What inspired you to do that post?
Look.
Like, what in your head at that time? What did you think?
Do you know what? I'm on Instagram, but like I hadn't posted for I think almost a year, previous to this post, and I saw the Shaka Bars.
So that was your comeback post as well. So hold on, it's taking a new dimension now. Hold on. Okay. Now
leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone.
No, you
actually,
you
no.
definitely just dug yourself a hole there, boy.
No, it's not just a post now. Now it's a statement. You made a statement. You're trying to do a whole thing.
After a year as well, he's got a little bit of a point.
Listen,
Come on.
I saw the post. I saw the Shaka Bars. Like, so when I go on Instagram, I don't really try to get involved, and there's a lot of like horrific stuff that's on there at the moment. So I try not to really be on Instagram too much. But then, whenever I see something that makes me laugh, I save it. And there's a couple of things that are making me laugh. And there's what's that guy's name who does the funny sort of quotes, and he runs off and they say, "Don't leave me, no, don't leave me."
Oh, what's his name?
He is hilarious.
Anyway, the Nigerian guy.
I think he's Nigerian. No, he's Ghanaian, I think.
No, Josh Too Funny, I think it is. He's Nigerian.
Anyway, so
what's wrong with you?
I've been saving his stuff, but then I saw the Shaka Bars thing, and I saw my man just yamming fruit, looking dead straight into the camera, smiling, slurping, and I was just, bruv, I couldn't stop wetting myself. I must have watched it about 3 times, just wetting myself, and then I saw that I had pineapple there.
I just looked over and saw a pineapple.
Had pineapple. Saturday, was bored. Had a camera. Had some incense.
Oh, let's set the thing up.
Yeah.
Incense.
And then I did it. But it didn't go according to plan, did it? the light wouldn't light. Yeah, the fire alarm was going off. The smoke alarm.
You set it off?
Had you
serious?
What, you've
Did you
not
not
seen the
listen?
right video.
You must have not listened.
You haven't
did
seen
you
the
come
full
off of
video.
it?
You saw the first video. You haven't seen the second video.
No, I can't watch it twice. He's done. I said you owe me new eyes.
Oh,
You
you need to
No,
watch
at the end,
You need to watch the second video, bro.
the fire alarm's going off,
Alright, well done.
and he's coughing.
Bro, you need to watch the second video.
Uh,
Bro, you need to watch the second
Basically, he's
video.
not eating through. If that makes you feel any better, he's just flapping the.
Listen.
Smoke
listen,
away.
You listen, be careful.
I feel like I violated myself once watching the thing. This is like fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
I'll forward it to the bit.
He's not eating through. I promise.
What am I eating then? I'm just smoking.
No, he's just coughing.
I'm coughing, to be fair.
Forward to the smoke bit.
I'm actually gonna play.
Because the worst thing is, this is my
Look,
cousin.
watch.
This is my cousin. Yeah. All right. Hello. You twat. What's wrong with you, twat? That's what you get. I think he's had a little bit more practice.
Oh, bro.
I think he's doing them outdoors as well.
I knew I was gonna shed. Hence why I filmed it. Do you know what I mean? I didn't intend for it to go well. So.
It was interesting.
Anyway, where were we? Let's not talk about my Instagram post.
You know, going off the back of Instagram, then you saying that you didn't want to be on it a lot. You know, you can set yourself some screen time.
Yeah, I've got an app that actually.
Have you got an iPhone?
No, I've got an Android. Why?
Oh dear.
Sorry, what? Hold on. What are you trying to say?
Oh no, I wasn't saying nothing. I just
What have you got to say about me and my Samsung?
no, I just prefer
Your
Apple,
what?
innit?
Me and my Samsung.
Oh, okay.
Song. Anyway, I just prefer Apple, innit? Like, but I don't know if you can do it on them phones, but you can set yourself some screen time on the actual phone. You can on an iPhone, anyway. So basically, settings,
Tracked.
go onto your screen time.
Data taken and
Hey,
all
listen.
that stuff. Yeah.
You go onto your screen time, and you can limit
Listen, I don't
when
care.
it shuts off.
I don't care because I have a Samsung, so I don't have an Apple. So
These Android users. Just
listen, enjoyed yourself, yeah.
Android users.
These
The worst thing is,
these Apple users, yeah.
you see, Samsungs and all those phones, yeah, they're actually better.
They are better
In what way?
But
because you can control
they
stuff. You can hack
they
stuff.
can do more.
APKs.
They're actually computers, and we're just used to the user friendliness of an iPhone.
And that's what I like about it. I like the fact that it's used like Android. I feel like I'm going around the
There's
house.
no.
and
I
just
tried
forget
to use an
one thing.
iPhone and it annoys me. It's like, where are the windows? Where's the? Why can't I have multiple windows at the same time? What if I want to go to here, and here? Why am I pressing back to go? Like, what's going on with?
But that's how
Apple?
I feel about Android when I use it.
No,
when I'm
because
looking at Android, I'm
Android,
like, what's going on?
Android, I can press a button. Oh, the windows are here. Which one do I need to go? Bam! I'm going to go into you.
You can do that on an iPhone.
No, but you have to
You
press
can-
back.
No,
Then
you
have to press
don't.
the back.
No, you
well,
don't.
Listen, that must be a new thing.
No, you
because
don't.
When I was I wasn't ever on Apple because I'd never do that to myself. But
Wow.
when I've tried, wow,
One
exactly
of those
that.
dedicated Android users.
Adam Apple.
Okay, alright.
I
So
said Adam Apple twice. What's wrong with you? What is
that's all I got right now. Shut up.
What is going on?
Yeah, I've tried to use Apple before and it just doesn't.
Okay.
I can't. It irritates me, annoys me. So no, never. I just wish BlackBerry was still here, man.
BBM days, boy. But
BlackBerry
anyway, I
was
don't know if you can do it on your phone, but you can limit your time.
Yes,
So
I said I had an app.
from mine, I do it between 11 and 7. I might do it a little bit earlier. And everything shuts off at that time. Obviously, you can choose what apps you can keep working.
So between the hours that you can use it, you're just like,
No, not even, because I set a limit for a limit for Facebook, an hour a day.
you're still on Facebook, yeah.
It shuts off. Yeah, man. Like, just because that's where my family are.
Okay.
I've got a different type of audience
Quantum.
on Yeah.
Contact.
One tick. So yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's really important to have time out from your screen. Screen time is, and we've been having a lot of interesting conversations with us as a dance school because, you know, my dance teacher Jen put it out to us. What is your screen time like during lockdown? And everyone said their screen time was up.
Of course it is.
So she was just doing a little bit of research about it all, and there's a great app called Forest.
There we go.
Tell us about Forest.
Guys, I'm going to tell you about Forest. Right, so this app.
Is it on Android?
I don't know. I'm an Apple person.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You can have a look.
You can have a look. I'm almost sure.
App store thing called?
Tell me about it first.
Okay,
if I
so-
care.
What's your app store called?
Play. Google Play. Why, you didn't think I know?
Go on.
You're trying to test it, you didn't think I knew.
So basically, on this app, you can grow trees, but it promotes you to have time out from your phone, your social media.
Sorry, I had to laugh at the
But
good trees.
But you grow trees.
It's
You
cool.
have like a little
Go on.
forest. Yeah. So you've got a timer. Can you focus? Right. So you've got. Listen to me. Right. So you set a timer.
I don't understand the concept of this thing.
Can you just
hold
can
on.
you just hear me out?
Wait, this is virtual gardening, what you're saying. Is that what's happening?
It's just an app. Can you just hear me out? It's just an app, right? It's an app where you grow trees. Okay. You set the timer. Can you focus, Jeff? I need you to focus.
He's gone.
Right. Okay. You set the timer for the thing. The longer the timer, the more coins you earn, and in that time, you grow a tree. Now, if you put in, there's like a little tab, and it's called deep focus mode. If you put the deep focus mode on, bam, as you're growing the tree, if you come out of the app, your tree will die. So it's promoting you to like have time out from your social medias. You still can obviously come out of it if you don't have deep focus mode on. But
What if someone rings your
those
phone?
coins.
While you're doing it, does the tree die?
That's a really good question. I might try it.
I'd be
Hold on, you have
furious.
to- the point of this is being out of your social media apps, being in another app, being defocused on this app while the tree grows.
No, but you can come off not come off of it, but like put your phone to the side and completely leave it for that amount of time.
But you can just do that, just turn the socials off and not have...
Not if you're growing a tree.
Yeah, it's mad.
You're growing a tree.
No, it's mad.
You're growing a tree, but can you? Right, okay. This is the really important bit.
No, it's not.
This is the really important bit.
Is there
the more,
a reward or something? Is there a
Listen.
good cause in the end?
yes, there is a good cause.
Like a charity?
So
or
the
something?
more the more coins you build up over time, you can actually buy to plant a real tree.
Okay.
Oh. So they send you like seeds.
No, like you pay. It's almost like a charity where you pay to plant
you
trees.
pay
that-
them to plant, and
Yeah.
they send you pictures.
I don't know if they send you pictures, but you just plant the tree. Trees are good for the planet.
I need
You
proof.
like adopt a tree sort of thing,
I
like a
need
name
proof.
it and
What
all
do you,
that.
what do you need proof
Well,
of?
the charities do that. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
need to
like with
adopt
living
this
things.
tiger, this cub.
Living. Not like a tree's not alive,
Trees,
but it's
exactly.
not doing anything, bro. It's not
I want a
necessarily-
picture of my tree. I'll pay for it. Where's the picture? I want to see the growth.
Well, okay.
Mad.
Would you not want to see the growth?
I mean,
you pay them to
I'd just be
plant
happy
trees.
to. You're not. I mean, you're not technically.
How
it's
do you
not
know where the
coming out-
money's going?
It's not coming out your pocket.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but still.
So how many man hours to get a tree?
Well, it depends on your timer. So you can build a tree within 10 minutes if you want. You can set a timer for 10 minutes, but you ain't going to get many coins for 10 minutes of
So
tree
how many
growing.
coins does it take to get a tree?
I mean,
I just want to know how long you've got to be focusing on this
Hold
one
on, hold
app
on.
for a
I'm trying to think of how many.
and this is, you're saying come out of the socials, but go into this one.
that involves me.
But there's nothing else that you can do on the app apart from this tree growing. So I guess what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you off of have that time out.
Question: Does your phone have airplane mode?
Yeah.
What does that mean, what you said?
Why is that relevant?
Because you could just turn on airplane mode and then put your phone to the side.
Yeah, but some people like to do good things. So if they feel like they're growing a tree, like nature, they're probably more going to
Listen.
do it rather than just turn it on airplane mode.
I'm not going to knock you. What you're doing is a good cause.
Thanks.
He's still...
I mean, the only downside to the app that I would say is that you have the choice of putting it on deep focus mode.
This deep focus gets me every time.
That's what it's called. But you have the choice to put it on. So you still, if you don't put it on, you can just grow the tree and still do what you're doing. Come out of it.
But the deep focus thing, you get hella coins. Is that what
No, it just
enough coins in the deep focus thing, man. Listen,
Deep focus mode.
it just allows you to not come out. Like you're not allowed to come out your app, otherwise your tree dies.
Oh, Jesus, man. Honestly.
I mean, I think it's a pretty good.
It's sick.
Good app.
It's sick.
that was literally a 10-minute plug for the
sick.
Forest app. So
Listen,
you've
I
done
don't
your
care
5
about the
star
Forest
review
app.
and then some.
Listen, I want it just for the deep focus mode. That's all I want it for. Shit, I just want to see that.
I don't know. I just think it just makes people feel good because it tells you, wow, you've grown a tree today.
I feel better.
Mad.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to reality. Cool. So, Instagram apps. Good segue into one of the main reasons why I wanted you to come and be part of this. So, I did brief Junior up on it slightly, but I probably have more knowledge. But we recently actually connected on Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. So you found me.
Yes.
You found me. Stalker.
Jeff, that guy.
That Jeff guy, actually. That Jeff guy.
Oh, wow,
anyway,
wow. Sorry,
handles. So since we've been connected and with everything that's been going on, I noticed that you'd been attending some of the protests. Mm-hmm. And I was actually quite blown away. So not by you actually attending, but the level of support you were showing and the dedication that you were actually showing in your page as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just really resonated with me, and I don't think I reached out to you about it. But I saw all the posts, I saw you attending, and you were like, you just came across as a real ally.
Yeah.
And like, I rated that so highly. Again, I'm not surprised, but I wanted to take this time to give you props. And I just wanted to sort of hear from you really as to just what's going through your mind, what is it that you're hoping to achieve, and how you felt about even attending the protests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be good to hear from you.
It's mad because I feel like in today, the year that we're in, I feel like we shouldn't be having these because everyone should be peaceful.
Yeah.
Like racism shouldn't still exist, but unfortunately it does. And I think the only way that it's going to get better is if, as a white community, we continue to speak up for what we see and hear that's wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so mad. I've got Facebook and Instagram, and I've got two completely different genres.
Yeah.
I've had arguments with people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because you've got two different generations.
Yeah.
I've had a white woman tell me that I'm going against my own race because I think Black Lives Matter.
I get that once, twice a day.
So I'm going against my own race because, and we just went in, even my boss, Jason, he kind of just went in on her and said to her about, at one stage in your life, women didn't have a certain amount of rights. What did you guys do? You protested for it. So he just gave her a few, and it's literally all we need to do is we need to continue to educate ourselves, educate. And if there's something that someone else doesn't know, having those conversations. Like, I've had conversations with my own family about it. I keep telling my mum, be careful or look at what you're posting and sharing before you do it. Because the media pushes things and they will only push the negative side of things. Yeah. So continue to post the negative things, it's going to continue to circle and there's still going to be a divide. But we need to work together. Everyone needs to be as one. And I don't understand people that don't see that. Why can't you see that we're all human? Like, skin colour is not a factor. Like, I don't...
Did you post, your protest pictures on Facebook, any of them. So what was some of the backlash, if any, that you got on Facebook?
It was mainly, no one actually, I think everyone liked it, and I don't think anyone actually commented on it in a negative way. I don't know if they were scared to. It was more, I think,
people losing their jobs.
The conversation that I had with that woman, I can't remember what it was. I think it was something that I shared about it, and she just went into this whole spiel of, I don't know, there was a lot there, and I was like, wow, someone get Greta off Facebook, like, seriously. We had to go in on her, and that is the thing. We need to continue having these uncomfortable conversations.
What do you think that it? What do you think that it is? I know we talk about education, but what's going on in their heads? Because I know you mentioned family members as well and stuff. What's the reoccurring theme and message that you keep hearing from sort of your community, I guess?
Well, they insist that all lives matter, but I think that they're missing the point that in order for all lives to matter, Black lives matter right now. And that's what they're not understanding. They're missing the whole point of it. Like my mum always says to me, I don't understand the violence and da-da-da. So we're having these conversations. I say to my mum, but mum, you know, I had to break it down and compare it into a way that I thought she would understand. So I said to her, bullying, for instance, at school. When you get bullied and you do the right thing, you go to the teachers, you go to your parents, you have these conversations, and nothing ever gets resolved. You still get bullied. Fight back, you never get bullied again. And I'm not comparing it, and I'm not saying that is the same thing, but that's the only way that I knew how to try and make my mum understand why people are being violent towards it. Like, people are angry, they're not being heard, and they've not been heard for a long time. So if violence, unfortunately, is the only way to get them heard, that's what's happening.
Do you know what? I think it's a lot of things. But going back to the one group of people thinking less or have been taught that another group of people are lesser. And once you have those thoughts or those belief systems, they manifest in a lot of different ways. So it's as simple as this. You gave the bullying comparison or example. Have you seen the new Dave Chappelle 846?
No, I haven't seen it.
You should. It's really good. It's really poignant. But he gave the example of a Fed who, on the job, went and told on his partner who'd done something wrong and went through the system, done everything the right way, and then he was kicked off the force, couldn't get back on the force, and he's like, I'm going to wage war on the police department. Shot a Fed, done something to another Fed's kid or whatever it is, and then all the Feds, I think it was 400, and then he went a bit of a rampage. 400 Feds showed up and burned his house down.
Wow.
That's one example of something happened and a retaliation. So and this is like from a police standpoint, if the police can't understand why people, the nation, are reacting the way that they are reacting, it's because they feel like one of their own have been killed and we want to retaliate. It's a natural reaction. So to get back to my original point, it's a lack of empathy, and I think the easiest example that most people would get is what Hitler did to the Jews in terms of a way to justify his brutal regime and putting people in concentration camps and blah 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 blah, because they're not people like us. They're less than us. We can do whatever, and it's a really fucked up thing to say, but if someone in that situation saw the scene, so saw George Floyd getting killed over 8.5 minutes, and if that person's seen that footage, thought of that person as a human being, there wouldn't be the but all lives matter, because that is clear as day.
Yeah.
And it's undeniable.
Yeah.
But on whatever level it is, the person seeing that footage and then responding that way doesn't see that person as the same level of human being, or doesn't give it the same value. Therefore, it's not warranted for the same level of response. Just like women's rights back in the day, or the right to vote, or the suffragettes, and what's it going to take we have to vote, or we have to march, we have to protest, and whatever that process is going to, however long that process takes, that's the end goal, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get there.
Yeah.
But is that a worthy cause? Why is this not a worthy cause? Because, I mean, I'm sure people show or hold different values on certain things, but if there was a video of someone putting any on a dog until that dog wasn't breathing anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure that would blow up.
But we're talking about a human being. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it made me cry. Watching the video made me cry, and what hurt me more is why did the people that why were they videoing? Why didn't no one step in?
In America, I've been to America a few times now, and I can't lie to you. Like, I would not mess around with the police that day. Like, it's.
But maybe was there someone that was like white that could have?
Oh, but is that? It depends where it is, and I don't know if I don't remember even seeing anyone white around or anything like that. But people, I don't know. The police are next level out there. Imagine the police over here had guns, man. Like, and like black people get shot on a regular for nothing. It's like, are you really gonna act brave and go pull a cop off someone's neck or something?
I would.
I was going to say.
I don't know. I don't know if most people would, but there's. But yeah,
I would. I think if we were over there and we saw that and we heard him saying that he couldn't breathe, like even just thinking about it, it's fucking hard. Yeah, if I was there, I would have tried something, because that would have been too tough to just walk away from, let alone just film, you know. But you can't really say until you're in that sort of situation, you know. And coming back to what both of you said about white lives matter, man. I mean, all lives matter. Sorry, white lives matter. All lives matter. Cause a race war.
Well, there's not one happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, do you think the people who are saying it, you think that the message is lost? I don't think that. I think they know exactly what Black Lives Matter means, and I personally just think that the people that are saying white lives matter, like Junior said, they're desensitized. They just don't care enough about the BAME or black community. I don't know, that's the way I see it, because I've heard it a few times, and I've heard it in whisperings through people at work as well, and I'm just like, okay.
It's on different levels.
So do you think
everything from I don't understand to I'm racist.
Ignorance.
And that is the acceptable response.
That's what I was going to say. Like, is it
anyone
people
can say
all within that spectrum.
is it uneducated or is it ignorant?
Both, or...
And I think there's some people that generally are uneducated, and then I think there are just ignorant people.
Yeah. Or racist.
Yeah.
Racist, ignorant, uneducated.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's tough because I
have an important question, actually.
Ooh.
I have an important question. It's mainly because I think I would like to know what the right age is. At when do you teach racism to children, and how do you teach it in a way so that it doesn't create hate?
I would like to take a stab at this first.
Okay, you're not going to be talking for 5 hours.
Yeah. I don't think we teach racism. I don't think that's the route to take.
No, I mean like teaching
Or race education.
Yeah, like
I don't even
you have to
think
put
it's that.
like what's that film where he prepares her for racism every day of her life. What is that film? There's a film and he teaches his daughter. He teaches her to protect herself. Tells her about her colour, her race.
Obviously, a black parent.
Yeah.
I think I saw the advert for that yesterday. I can't remember what film it was.
And she's always prepared for that because they lived in America. It's an American film, so obviously they lived in America.
I forgot what film it was, but I know what you're talking about.
I watched Farming last night.
Okay.
And we'll speak about that later or on another show. But Jesus H Christ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What was I? Okay, yeah, so I think that there has to be so like in schools what we educate people on at the moment is warped, and I don't think, forget like, you know, racism education in like multicultural education or whatever, like we don't even teach people proper life skills or anything like that, how to handle their finances and all of that. So like I think that the educational sort of course foundation spectrum needs to get ripped apart and start again anyway.
I agree.
In regards to race, I just think it just needs to be real. It's like, if you're going to go to a history class, teach the real history and show all the different spectrum, the whole different areas that took place from the Germans with Hitler to African, and to celebrate Africa, not just like slavery and all of that. Talk about the injustices, talk about slavery, but you also talk about, you can celebrate different cultures and religions and stuff like that. I think there needs to be more of a mix. If you have more of a mix of different people from different religions, cultures in schools, if you mix up the schools a bit more. But I think it comes down to more so the education. Because if a child who is learning how to read and write and then starts learning about history, maths and science, if they're not shown a picture of a black person or how black people can be celebrated, or the good things that black people, that many hundreds and thousands of inventions that what black people have done, I just think that that's where that's where we're falling down, because then this child grows up to 10, 15, 16, 18 and they've been in a bubble. They haven't been educated about black history, about how the two communities can mix and get along, and then it just gets down to a point where they're taught what they're taught about black people, or about BAME people, whatever you want to call it, or from people in the black community. When they're taught about those people, you typically come from their elders, from the older generation within their family, that could potentially take them down the incorrect path, or what they see from media in terms of programming of black thugs, black people with guns, gang banging, drive-by shooting, all of that stuff.
West Coast.
But bruv, you turn on, if I go to the movie channel now, I guarantee you, I'll put on 3 movies that will depict black people in a particular way. We can go to the TV right now.
100%.
We can go to Netflix right now, the top 10 trending films. There's one film about, I forgot what it's called, one who gets in the ghetto and his dad's in jail, the black kid that was in Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington.
He's a sick actor.
He is, but what's the film representing? What's it showing? That 100%. And the only reason why I haven't watched the film is because of everything that's going on right now and how we're being depicted and perceived and shown. I'm just like, I can't be bothered to watch another film that shows us in this light.
Yeah, I do that.
So that's my spiel. Go on, Junior.
You mean like parent and child? When should they teach their child to?
Yeah, like when do you without scaring them and without making them feel.
And is this the white parent?
I'm talking about it like from a white parent's point of view, because there seems obviously the fact that there is more interracial couples now is I think that's great, but then there's a lot of women, like white women, that probably would never even think about educating their kids on their. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's almost like. I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but some women it's almost like an accessory for them.
100%.
Whereas I think it's quite important if you're gonna have a child with someone that's from a different culture, you need to you need to be prepared to know how to do his or her hair, to know all of those
100%.
things about that.
100%. So I think for that white parent teaching their white child. No, not a mixed race child. I don't know whether it's about. I just think it's about teaching them to love unconditionally. Yeah. And once you're doing that, you're then not looking to disenfranchise someone else just because of the colour of their skin. Because that wouldn't be a normal thought process. If you're teaching your kid the right skills, the right traits, all that sort of stuff, you should be giving them the right information. And if you're teaching them that they should love everyone and treat everyone with a certain level of respect, you don't ever get down to that path. But also it's about, like Jeff was saying, and I think we had a whole bit about this on the last podcast, it's about representation. And what information are you equipping your child with, in terms of what perspectives or what viewpoints are they going to have by the time they reach certain ages. So if you only show them this tact, they're going to have this point of view. If they only know one way, they can't have a full spectrum of thought. You have to show them different cultures. And again, it's easier in multicultural cities like London or whatever. But if you're maybe in a rural place and everyone looks like you and there's not necessarily that much need to, but you still have to, because you have to show this is what the world looks like. And once you understand that there's different people with different stories and different struggles, you then start to understand the struggle. Once you understand the struggle, or understand the history from a real standpoint, you can then start to sympathise, or you can then start to empathise, or you can then start to do whatever. Because I think it's really interesting that we would be having this conversation about a white kid or a mixed race kid. Let's just keep it to a white family having that conversation, or needing to educate their child about black people. But would they need to have that separate education with Jewish people? No, because as part of their adolescence, you know the story. You know the story, you know what happened, and it's, well, you know, a version of the story. That cut that. You're definitely going to have to cut that. You know the story. And you can go through the normal thought process with it, because you know the story. If you don't understand the struggle, and all you see growing up is adverts of Africa with charities and Oxfam and blah blah blah, and kids with flyers all over their faces, and you're thinking that's what Africa looks like, when Africa is vibrant city, just like continent, and you have vibrant cities and towns and like everywhere else, but you see one point of view, or you see one depiction of it. So it's about teaching a broad spectrum and being honest. To the mixed race kid with a white mum, that's that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. And before I go into that, like I said, I watched Farming last night. and I shouldn't have watched it because
So is this a documentary or a film? Is it
a
called?
film. It's a film on. It's not on Netflix. It was on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Basically, the film is about the Windrush generation of Caribbeans coming over to the country, along with an influx of African people coming over to the country, mainly Nigerians. And the farming term is when especially the Nigerian people were finding it really hard to acclimatise over here. So what they started doing is giving their kids to white families to look after.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing that happened.
So that's the premise of the film, and it's about one kid's story. And once you're talking about someone being outside the natural environment without any cultural ties to their past or who they are, the amount of psychological trauma and the amount of decompartmentalization because of that is insane. So, I mean, this was a black kid who grew up in a racist area, Tilbury, I think it was back in the day. Grew up in Tilbury. There was the Tilbury skins, that's their little patch of the NF people, the BNP people back in the day, just battering him on a daily basis. He goes through different levels of trauma. He actually goes to the stage where he starts deep levels of self-hate, and he's putting chalk all over his face and just trying to be white, and then ends up getting battered by these NF guys. And then he joins the Tilbury Skins, whatever it is, and he's a black guy battering other black guys. He writes black, I can't even say that on his hands, and he goes for a whole. Finally, he ends up in a good place, but the amount of trauma, and just over the last month and a half, I can't tell you the amount of trauma that I've watched. And it's the point of black people being brutalized, to black people dying, and it's a repeat of this. So let me just lift that farming thing. But if you need to watch it, because
I think it come out a while ago, right? It's
I don't know. I don't know whether it's a new film or whatever, but
I remember seeing the trailer.
I need to write that. I write it down.
It's
I remember seeing the trailer and thinking
there's parts of that was so destroying. I'm not even lying to you. It's so destroying.
Because it all touches. It all touches. It's all like,
and it's real. And and you're thinking back to your childhood and certain parts of it and how it relates to you, and it's a Nigerian you, and it's
there's films like that I can't. It's too close to home. It's like I can't because it gets you into a mood and like a frame of mind where it's just too much.
But anyway, to your question, the white mum with the mixed race kid, I think it depends on whether the dad is involved and how serious the dad is. Because if dad is there, then dad will be doing a big part of giving him that cultural stem, and mum needs to do her nurturing bit. But if dad isn't there, it's very important that she does everything she can do to equip him with the level of information that he would need to successfully navigate his life as an adult, because
that's a minefield as well.
It's very different.
It's a minefield as well.
Very different. So, because that mixed race kid is going to be seen as black when he has to check a box, or when feds roll up on him, he's going to be little black you. He's not going to be little mixed race kid. So, what does he identify with? What does he see himself as? Does he have cultural ties? Does he have a link to his father's side or whatever it is? Does he have and I guess the end point is, does he have a decent level of self-identification? And if he doesn't, it's a minefield of psychological problems that will manifest themselves however they see fit. But mum has a responsibility, a huge responsibility, because yeah, we see when it goes wrong and we see what happens too often. Huge responsibility, though.
Does that scare you? For when you're ready to...
Before you answer his question, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Is your partner white or black?
He's black.
So, is that why... Answer this honestly. If your partner was white, do you think he'd be at the marches?
Yes.
No, with as much energy, vigour and guile and...
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be as relevant?
I've got she's my second cousin. I've got black people in my family. I've got black friends, and I just don't agree with racism. So
Good.
The fact that I saw that George Floyd video and cried, at what point is that okay to take a human's life because of a skin colour? Like, I don't get it. And there's so many videos that's come out since of people being wrongfully like done by white police, and I don't understand why it's still here.
Because it's a business.
It's just part of the system. So I saw this quote the other day. I can't remember it word for word, but it was something about the KKK. So the picture I saw was a quote where it had a picture, so the picture of the KKK, and then it was a split screen with another picture of like a police sheriff badge, and the badge that's under the KKK outfit was very, very similar to
the same symbols on
the same symbols.
Okay. You can't
And
say what the symbols are, but I know what you're talking about.
So, and then I think something on the quote said the KKK haven't disappeared or gone. They're just part of the system now. Like, no, they're wearing suits or something like that.
Okay.
And I was just sat there looking at that for a while thinking, Jesus, this is
Do you guys know that the FBI has done an investigation and have said that they've got evidence that the KKK have infiltrated the police department?
Yeah, 100%. Come on.
Wow.
What, but what's the film that...
It doesn't surprise me, but...
What was that film that Denzel Washington's son, Black Kingsman? Have you watched that?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You can see how they...
But the FBI it's been done, and say that they're a reputable organisation themselves, but it's documented, and...
But it's a member society.
You just literally...
It's a member society, so you can do whatever job you want.
You see it on a daily basis, and the evidence is the videos that you see coming through your socials. It's black and white.
Because that guy had been done a few times. I don't even want to say the cop's name who murdered George Floyd. But apparently he'd been reported 9 times or something like that previously and never been charged or anything. 9 times he's been reported.
Yeah, because the system doesn't work like that. It's never in the police's interest to highlight their wrongdoings.
No, of course not.
Or police the police.
But as well, in that, if the systemic racism is high within that particular branch as well, or that state or whatever, then of course it's not going to come out. They can do what they want.
And that would be all states.
Yeah.
That would be all states.
That's mad. Like, and then you think, is anything ever going to change then? If that's the case,
it will be
it depends.
It will be
It depends.
very difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult to. I don't want to come across as glass half empty, but I think it will be very difficult to ever eradicate racism.
that's really sad.
It is, but it's just...
It depends what sort of change you're talking about and what that change looks like.
Well, you would need to educate people on a huge scale, and for them to accept it, and then further the learnings, and then there also needs to be a portion of unlearning all the bad, evil habits and perceptive views that you've had as well,
So
on a
it's
huge
gotta start
scale.
from the youth, yeah. It needs to start from
It needs to be top down, bottom up.
Yeah.
It needs to be like that, and it needs to be done on a huge scale. And to get that done for the world, how many
ideally,
trillions of people?
schools need to change what they're teaching,
and then governments
and how they're teaching
need to take it on board and buy into it.
Yeah.
Unless that's done, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I won't say never, but I'll say I don't know.
That's really sad. Like, to know that it's scary for me to think that I could potentially, that could potentially happen to my child, and I wouldn't want my child to go through that.
So you've been in an interracial relationship. Have you experienced anything said to you, to him, or about you guys, or when you've gone somewhere, and maybe not in this relationship, but like in a previous relationship or something? Have you ever experienced anything or noticed anything?
Not that I can think of. I've always got friends that say to me, "Oh, don't your parents mind you dating?"
Really?
Yeah. And I kind of like, and I sit there and I look at them and I think, that's a really weird question to ask someone. Like, why did you ask me that?
That's a lot.
That's the worst thing is, that question that they asked you is so loaded.
Yeah.
It's so loaded. They want to say so much more, but that's what's acceptable for them to say. That's the acceptable question.
I was just like, my answer is literally, I don't know why you've asked me that question, but my mum will tell you, both my mum and dad, they couldn't care what the colour of the skin is. As long as I am happy, they couldn't care. She was like, Cheryl, you could turn lesbian, that'd be fine. She's like, as long as you're happy, I don't care.
Yeah.
She's like, just be happy. That's all they want from me is happiness.
And those friends who asked the question, I take it they've never been with a black guy?
Probably not.
Okay. Damn.
Probably not.
Damn. That's a lot. I wasn't expecting that.
No, yeah, I do. That's probably the most frequent question I get. And I find it a weird question, but I answer it as best as I can because I don't understand why they've asked it. But obviously,
you do understand what it is.
Obviously, I need to explain it to them. I don't feel like I shouldn't have to, but I do because I just don't see the point. Why are you asking me that? I don't get it.
So are they close friends or?
I'm trying to think of who it is that's actually asked me these things. No, it's not. It's not close friends. I don't think I'd have a close friend that would ask me a stupid question like that.
And you said you're a dancer. What sort of dance?
I do hip hop. Growing up, I used to do like disco, Latin and ballroom, all that kind of jazz.
A little flamenco.
But I've never been skinny. I've always had a bit of baggage, So I just always felt a bit like a fairy elephant when I was doing any of like the disco stuff or like the real girly stuff. Never been a really girly girl. Like I love trainers. I love being comfortable. I'm very uncomfortable in heels. I don't know how I rate girls that wear them because they are the most uncomfortable things on this planet. So I just always felt a bit like a fairy elephant, and as growing up, I fell more in love with music, and I just took the direction of hip hop because I just felt like there was more. I gravitated more towards that. That side
I think
of it.
everything ties into each other, so you're able to have your standpoint as strong as it is because you've got deep ties into black culture.
Yeah.
As in your partner, what you do as a job or a hobby. There's a big part of you subscribes to a very different culture. So you have to some degree, have some level of understanding.
Yeah, I mean...
If you don't, are you going to have that?
Yeah.
Is the question.
Dancing goes way back. Like I'm very, very grateful for Jenny, my dance teacher, because not only does she teach
Jenny,
us...
big up yourself.
Jenny Bater Sinclair, I should say Sinclair. I always call her Jenny Bater.
Hail you up. Jenny.
She teaches us the fundamentals and where it comes from and who invented it.
Oh, you
so
mean
she don't just teach us
popping and locking.
Yeah, she don't just teach us, you know.
Because it starts from there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the fingers. You got to do the fingers.
And then it's popping and locking.
That's funny, man.
No, she's really good. When you watch her pop and lock, you're like, damn. But I'm very grateful that as a school, she doesn't just teach us moves and whatnot. She teaches us the fundamentals of hip hop and where it came from, and she always makes sure she educates us on that side of things.
The essence.
Yeah. So to have that knowledge on it as well is good. So you know where the move is coming from and whatnot. Plus, growing up, I always grew up around cultures. We had the most amazing Jamaican couple that lived next door to us, and she always used to make me food.
What, in Emerton?
Yeah. Thornaby Gardens, big up yourself. Big up Gloria. She used to make me curry goat all the time. She used to invite my dad over, and they used to try and get him to drink Jamaican rum. He weren't on it. He was not on it. In actual fact, one of the times they had a party, we went over there. My sister's boyfriend, who she was dating at the time, he thought, yeah, I'm gonna go for this Jamaican rum. He was out. Smarko. I was slapping him on the sofa like, mate, are you alright?
A Ray Nephews thing?
No, I don't think it wasn't Ray. It was, I don't know, it might have been. Maybe I was too young to know that it was Ray Nephew, but all I know is that it was strong.
Oh, wow.
It knocked him out. Knocked him out.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
So, you, interracial relationship, you've had a few comments, nothing too major.
Mm-hmm.
If you got married to him, do you think that you would have to explain yourself to anyone or anything like that? Or not that you'd have to explain yourself, but do you think that you would receive particular comments? The reason I say that is because obviously when I got married, I obviously married outside of my race. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, the backlash that...
From who though?
But this is, well, I guess my situation is slightly different because our wedding dance went viral, and then I don't know if you remember, did you ever see the comments on like Facebook or anything like that when it was popping off? Jesus Christ, man.
What, from that video?
Yeah. The Daily Mail...
Towards her or towards you?
Both, I guess. Depends on the site.
Okay,
It depended on the site. Daily Mail posted it, and that's notoriously a white newspaper.
Right, okay.
You can it's still online. If you go through the comments on the Daily Mail video, unbelievable.
What are they saying?
Just like she's a disgrace, and this is that and the third.
No way.
There's a lot worse comments that they removed. But even if you go on like the Facebook ones, YouTube, I still got comments that I haven't, because they pick up on certain words, so they don't publish certain comments.
Right, okay.
But they're still there, unpublished. Hundreds of like completely racist towards me, towards her. It's bad. Like, but to be honest, like I got thick skin. I got thick skin to like at first I was just like, what the hell? But then after a few months, I realised that this is the world.
I genuinely loved that wedding video.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the greatest video.
It was fun.
Like it really looked. No, it just looked like you both were enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was.
There was a vibe.
It was a vibe. We didn't really think it was gonna go viral, so that's why I think it was. Well, nowadays everyone does a dance video for the gram to put, but we just. I won't even go into it. But anyway, so back to you. So, do you think you will get comments, and how will it be perceived by not just your family, but his family?
Yeah, I mean, I've met a majority of his family.
Is he from, if you don't mind me asking?
He's Jamaican.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. I get on really, really well with his mum, his dad's. That I don't feel like there's any there's no negative energy there, and I think they're the same as my parents. Wouldn't matter on skin colour or whatever, as long as you're happy. And that's the vibe that I get. I get along with his sister. He's got brothers. Get along with, like, there's a good vibe there. Like, I'd like to think that everyone would be happy for me and not have those thoughts. But obviously, until that comes, I'd like to think that wouldn't be the case.
Who do you think? So this is a question for both of you, and this is a loaded question. I probably shouldn't be asking it, but who do you think's the more racist community or biased community?
They're two separate questions. Black people can't be racist. Black people can be prejudiced against another race, but they can't be racist. What racism means is...
yeah, well, I guess biased then if we talk about...
Yeah, so you can have a certain opinion about another race, but black people can't be racist towards white people. A black person doesn't have a way to disenfranchise a white person.
Yeah.
So it's impossible. When you're talking about racism, you're talking about how black people are subjugated and disenfranchised through all the different life streams, and there's 7 or 9 of them. There's white people are able to infect or affect the life of a black person. That's racism.
Yeah.
A black person can't do that to a white person. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
A black person can be prejudiced. So
to answer the question...
so I think...
So to answer the original question.
So yeah, I think history would dictate, and I think it speaks for itself. I think I don't have to answer that. I think if you pick up any book and look at the last 400-500 years, I think it dictates for itself. And then when there was unified, let's just say there was the Moorish rule, or say black dominance over the world, I think the world looked a lot different than it does under white rule. So that's my answer, and that's the most PC way I could put it.
Yeah, I could tell it went somewhere. It was going somewhere. What about you?
I mean, I've never really, like you say, I've never really experienced racism from a black person. So I've only ever seen or heard racism come from a white person.
Any microaggressions or anything like that from a black person, or any like unconscious bias or anything like that, or like prejudice?
No, I mean...
You ever been hated on by like a black girl for being with a black guy? Like when you step into a club or something?
Stepping out of the...
to be fair, when I was like younger, in my little raving days, the little R&B and bashment room, I would take it with...
One for time and envy.
Oi, come on. Come on.
Jesus. Jeez.
Obviously, I love bashment and dancehall music. Like, I absolutely love it. And I would get a lot of looks from black girls because I'm dancing that way. But normally I try and squash the energy because I don't like the energy. So I try and kind of like, I try and be friends with them.
Yeah.
Just to try. I don't want that animosity. Like, let's just all rave together.
Yeah.
Let's just not be horrible.
Would you say you're a confrontational person?
I will have confrontation, but if it's not necessary, I won't.
If it's there, you want it. You want some? I'll give you some.
Yeah, I've never had a fight though. You know.
Whoa.
You both looked at me. I've never had a fight in my life. Never. I'm just not. It's just not in. It's not in my bones to deal with something in a violent way. Like, me and my sister are two complete different people. Like, I've seen her have fist fights with man. I've seen a man break her nose.
Oh God.
Boy.
Yeah, I've seen that. My sister fights like a man.
She's on a tear up.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, the other image I had in my head. Have you seen that video of that chick at the bus stop? And this is after England in, what was it, last World Cup, doing that Maguire impression and just putting her whole head through the bus stop.
No, I've not.
Is it?
Bang!
I've not seen that.
Bosh!
I've not seen
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot of stuff.
glad I've
Stacey's on one when she's on one. That's the image I had of her. She likes to tear up.
She likes to tear up. But we are two completely different people. Like, even at school, I got highly bullied, and I used to just allow it to happen.
Why?
I don't know. I was too scared. It was so weird because my mum always used to tell me to deal with it in a certain way, and then my dad would be like, "No, just go to school and hit them." And I'm like, "But Dad, that's not the answer."
My dad said to me, if anyone hits you at school, hit them back.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about. I just didn't have that in me to physically do that to another. But I don't know.
My dad said, if anyone touches you, next day you come home, you pick up the hammer, you put it in your bag, and you take it to school. That's what my dad said to me.
My dad used to have a go at me if I came home from school crying. My dad, he'd get so angry and he'd want to do something himself, and I'm like, you can't. And he's like, well, why don't you fight them, Cheryl? He's like, why?
Do you think that affected you?
And then my mum's like, Cheryl, don't we don't need to be violent. My mum's like, just go to the teachers. I'm like, okay.
Do you think that affected you in any way, getting bullied at school?
I think it's made me who the person I am today.
Okay.
I didn't let it get me down. I stayed in school. I didn't leave school. Probably the best year of school was the last year because most of the bullies had gone. But no, I stayed there. I probably didn't have a great education because I wasn't interested in being in school. I spent most of my time the minute I got sent out of a class, because the gates were always open, I'd just walk home.
It's weird.
Just go home.
It's weird, isn't it? Because like there are different levels of bullying, and I think people attempted to bully me at school, and so I was always in like the top classes for like learning and different subjects and whatnot, but I always got suspended at least once every year. I got suspended once, but the person who I would have a fight with was always a bully.
Okay.
Was always a bully.
So you were sticking up for yourself?
Yeah, most of the time. Until my final year where I was just reckless. Okay. But yeah.
So did you become a bit of a bully or not?
I don't think he was a bully.
No.
It was just,
no, I was just an angry...
lashing out.
I was just an angry youth.
Okay.
I was just an angry youth. So if someone tried it... Whereas I think before, if someone tried it, then... You
kind of tolerated it.
Tolerated it and might turn into a cussing match or something. Okay. And, your mum, ooh, all of that. But then in my final year, someone tried it. It's all right, let's have it. Like, straight, 0 to 100. So, yeah, that's...
Yeah, but no, I'm...
Violence is never the way.
I mean, I didn't enjoy being bullied. Like, not at all. I don't think anyone does enjoy it, but I definitely believe it's why and who I am today. Like, it's not. I'm not a violent person. I'm still not a violent person, but I just deal with things in a different way. I kill people with kindness. So I think
I do see that in you, but I always thought that you had a little bit of the.
Oh mate, I will run my mouth. I've got a little potty mouth, yeah. But someone tries to fight me, I'm running. Bye. Bye. See you later.
You what? Yeah, you little sheep. And then as soon as they step to you, she's like.
Basically a bit of dinner, so...
I was joking.
Do you know what just popped into my head? You ducking under that bar and the line of the century. You know what, lads? I'm not sticking around for this, mate.
What?
Absolute tart.
What are you talking about?
And then
in the ends, are you talking about back in the day?
From one side to the other side
Number
of
one.
Jubilee Park in 3.75 seconds.
Okay, so number one.
Literally.
Wait, what?
Number one.
There might have been smoke coming from his phone.
What happened?
Number one.
That is the best line ever.
Number one, I highly doubt that this is the
100%. That's what you said. I would bring witnesses.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
My guy.
Number one, I don't think that this is the right story for the to be released.
I'm just talking
for the
about
podcast,
the story.
to go into depth detail. I'll probably share it with you afterwards. But something happened when we were younger, and it all got quite serious. That's all I'm gonna say. And the way that he remembers
it all
the
swings
story
around
is
about.
completely rubbish. Because you're a sheep and you're following what William was saying. Because William got caught.
Bro, you know I was the last person to duck.
Yes, I know, but I wasn't
But
the
I
first.
saw everything.
Okay, but you know that there was a lot of us, and I wasn't the first person to the other side of the park. But yeah, I'm the fastest. I'm the fastest, but I wasn't the first person there.
I know.
But there were girls that got to the other side of the park quicker than I did, bro.
I'm intrigued to know what.
I don't
Yeah, it's all fun and games.
It's all fun and games. I don't know.
All you need to know is he said, "You know what? Not sticking around for this, man."
I didn't say
and
that.
He just. It's almost like it was a movie scene. Like he prepped it. That's how polished it was. You know? And he was so calm as well. It's like.
Nah. It's a
That's
bit.
me. I'm like.
It's a bit
You
of
know
a.
what? Nah, I'm right.
It's a bit of a scary story, but I don't even go into
To be fair, he did that.
Like, I tried to warn people about something that was about to happen, and you know what? We're just chilling. We're chilling. It's late. It's dark. We're chilling. Like, we're really young in the park, chilling. And then, see, he's laughing because he knows. So next thing, and there's different eggs. You know, Judy.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. You can do that off camera. This ain't
Anyway, so that was
Okay.
Let's move on. So anyway, what's in your future? What's going on with you? What do you want to do next? What are you trying to do? Or is there anything on social media you're trying to do work wise? What's your projects up and coming?
So I have just started.
Are we doing that now?
Huh?
Like a whole plug-in bit? Are we doing that?
Wow.
Go on. I'm not angry yet. Go on, love. Go on. So your time to shine now, girl. Go on. Do your thing.
Trying to be professional out here, bro.
No, I like it. It's nice.
I have just started a self-love. So it is a YouTube channel.
Nice.
And it's an Instagram, and it's obviously a Facebook. You have to connect the two anyway. Because I get a lot of comments on my personal social media from women saying, I really, really like your videos. I like everything you do. Seeing your videos make my day. And I just didn't think or realise that being the person that I am had such an impact on someone else's life, especially someone that I don't know. So I just think that women need to love themselves a little bit more. There's so much going back to social media of people are looking at Kylie Jenner as a goal, but is that a goal? Do you know what I mean? Like I just want women to appreciate and be grateful for what they have got, and we need to learn to love those things that we don't like about ourselves. So I'm starting a self-love channel to try and talk about mindset, self-love, things that we can do to change our lifestyle, just promoting more happiness, really, because I don't think we see enough of it nowadays, especially from women. Or women say that they do it, but then they are obviously not that person behind all of that. Or they're promoting self-love, but they've had surgery and they've had this. I just don't think you can promote self-love but have had surgery, because it just doesn't make sense to me. So I think people need real women, real...
Let me ask you a question just on that.
Okay.
So you think if someone has had liposuction, or they've gone Turkey for a BBL, or whatever, breast implants, whatever, you don't think that person is allowed to promote that they have self-love?
Not, maybe I worded that wrong, but maybe not allowed to. But I feel like there's a certain bracket with self-love that teaches you to love, like, your body confidence and all of that. And of course, if you've had surgery, your body confidence is going to be up here. And then you've got the younger generation that are looking at that body confidence and being like, I want to look like that. Whereas they've probably already got an amazing, perfect body, but they're instantly looking at other women and being like, I want to be like that. Which is not, to me, that's not teaching self-love, because you're promoting, like, all of the Kardashians have completely changed the body type. They've changed the body type.
Chloe's new nose.
Who's?
Is it Chloe?
Oh yeah, she don't even look like her.
It's mad.
Talking about it like it's a whip.
Oh, did you see the picture
That's what
of
I'm
her
saying.
name?
She doesn't look like that person who she once was.
Mad.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
Are you promoting, or is part of your self-love journey or teachings about that person finding out who they are?
Yeah, that's what I want. I want women. I want it to be under a whole bracket of women going back to themselves and working on themselves and having things like, for instance, during lockdown, I took part in a 21-day abundance challenge, and that was one of the greatest things that I've ever done because it really took time out on each day to myself.
So for YouTube world and for me, an abundance challenge is...
So it's a 21-day abundance challenge. Each day you get a task, and it could be, like for instance, one of the days was to read a parable out to someone that sees their life, or is not a positive person, that sees things very negatively. So one of the tasks was to read it out to them, get their views on it, and write down things. One of the days was about money, relationship with money, like write down all your things. Then there's like law of attraction. So what do you want to come into your life? Like money. What do you want? This, not just materialistic things. Like there was so much into it, and there was always a meditation afterwards. So you completed the task, and then you did the meditation, and you always did it at the start of your day. So you did those things to get your day going. You listened to the meditation, and you got on with your day. And it was in the hope that you had more abundance and more gratitude in your day.
Why do you think that women don't really have that sort of self-worth anymore? Do you think that...
It can be a combination of things. It can be what they've gone through.
But what are you judging it on as well? Because a lot of what you're doing is in the social media world. So are you judging what you're seeing on what's in the social media world that you're living in? Or are you trying to do stuff outside of social media?
In what sense? What do you mean?
Because so what you're trying to do is you're trying to help women, but your view is that there's not a lot of self-worth, right? Or self-love.
Yeah.
Where is that sort of coming from?
It's more when you speak to people in real life.
Okay.
Like, I know girls that have the most amazing Instagram but don't actually feel that great about themselves. So it's almost like they use social media as a front. Whereas that's why I think it's good to see real bodies on Instagram, not just finding a pose where your body looks good, like posting.
But what do you think? So I agree with you. But I think that a lot of the problems stem from likes and comments.
Oh yeah, you've got
you know, the sort of druggy feeling that you get from seeing, oh God, 10 likes, 15 likes, 50 likes, or had however many views.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing.
Yeah. No,
That's a real thing.
I never understood that until I was around someone that was very cautious of that, and I was like, oh, it's a thing.
It's a real thing.
It's a thing.
It's a drug, and people.
The dopamine hit every time.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
And people that like say women who might post a picture of themselves and they might not look thin or curvy in the right places, or they might not have had any makeup on, or whatever it is, right? And they just didn't get enough hits. They didn't get enough likes. They didn't get enough views or comments, something like that, and that will burn them inside.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to be in the right mental state of mind. If you're not ready, you've got to take responsibility for what you post. So if you're not ready for that type of, because you've got to remember that everyone in the world has opinions. Everyone has, and some people have really strong opinions.
This is where, so I think that this is such a widespread problem. And again, I didn't think we'd be talking for this long, but this is so, we've had so many interesting things that we've talked about. And I think there are like people that are confident who have, or I think have self-worth, or they come across as they do and whatever. But they're so lost in social media and they need to be viewed a particular way to the extent where they'll be talking about self-worth, self-love and or being an independent woman or etc, etc, etc. But really and truly, as soon as they post something, they're looking at the insights, they're looking at the likes and comments.
Yeah.
And I know people that are like that. I know so many people that are like that. And they, like, to talk to them, you would think they're the most confident person in the world.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit about this because of when I started off the YouTube stuff. I won't lie to you, the first 6 months, I was so conscious of the views, man. Like the views. Not really the likes, but the views. I was so conscious because, number one, I didn't really want to do it at the beginning. And then number two, it was like, okay, well, this is kicking off. Like, how do we maintain it? And then everything became a science. I was like, okay, dropped it. And then I wouldn't look for 24 hours. And then I'd look. And if it hadn't done a certain amount, I'd be like, damn, what do we do wrong? And I'd start problem solving and finding a solution to a problem that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
But now, I'm in a place, I'm not perfect, but I'm in a place where, like, I'll post something. Like, I'll post on YouTube. I won't even look at it. If I go back on YouTube, most of the time, I'll purposely avoid certain pages so I don't see how many views or likes I've got. And like, same with the comments, and even like my Instagram thing, like I don't even go and look at the views. I don't even go and look at the views. When I go on and tell someone's liked it, I'll look, so okay, cool. And I purposely do that to not ever fall into that trap about caring about the wrong thing. It's like, I think there should be a cause. If you've got a cause and you've got a value that you want to stick to, like you're talking about, then yeah, I think that's what you need to stick to and not worried about everything else. But I think you've got a big sort of, I might say systemic, but you've got something that is challenging on your hands to confront, to help women with. 100%. I think it's a worthwhile cause though, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for it. Like, if it takes,
I'm here. I got time today.
I'm here for it.
I got time today.
Whether people don't watch it or whatnot, at least I know within my heart that I am trying to help people.
Yeah.
I've actually had a couple of people message me and say, "Are you making money from your page?" And I was like, "Well, I've just set it up. Like, chill." Yeah. But my reply is, "I'm not making money, but that doesn't bother me that I'm not making money."
People message you like what? Like promotion people? Or
I don't know. Like, I've had a couple of friends that have just asked me, and it's been since I created the new Instagram, that they've said to me, "Oh, are you making money from your page?"
But that's just nosy, man.
Like,
I don't even respond to people. I don't respond to people. Like, I've had a few people ask about YouTube. Oh, how much money are you making from YouTube? And I don't tell them. I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, I don't. I mean, that side of it is. I'm not saying that I don't have an interest in it. It would be great to probably make money, but that's not why I'm doing it. I want to do it to genuinely change the way that women look and feel about themselves. And that's when you're going to be successful. When you actually enjoy doing something and there's a cause behind it, and then you just throw yourself into it. And that's literally this idea for the channel. It's one of those things that you've been speaking about for a while. And in actual fact, I have to give props to my boyfriend, because if he has invested in me so much, into the point that he's almost like pushed me to do it. He's like, "I know you can do it." Like, and I've never had that from a partner. Like, I've never had a partner in my life that has seen things that I don't even see in myself, and just knows that it's going to work, or I don't know, it's mad. I've never had that before. I saw this little ray of light when you said that. You look so happy when you said that.
Honestly, like, it was beautiful.
It was.
I mean, I started hearing, like,
there were birds chirping.
There was violins coming in, like, different sort of. It was cinematic, baby. It was cinematic.
Don't cry now. Don't cry.
Yeah, there's no tears on this podcast. We don't do that.
He gonna get some good loving tonight.
But that's nice though.
Yeah, like, he really pushed me to do it, and he said to me, like, whatever you need, cameras, anything, that the other day we went and sat in a park and just kind of brainstormed some ideas about what we're going to do and where we're going to go.
It's good. That level of support is important.
And it's mad. And I would always do the same for him because he does videography and stuff like that. I will always promote the things he does, and I will always be there for his business and whatever he needs to do. Like we've always said, let's all eat at the same table. Like, let's all bring each other up and learn to grow. Like we've just I've started using a different guy for photography, and at first I thought he was going to feel a way about it because he does photography, but actually it turns out that they now are able to work as a team. And the last photo shoot that I had with Daryl, my boyfriend Leon actually came and filmed it and has made a video for him about his photography and a video from it for me saying about how much I love photo shoots and etc, and they're able to work with each other.
Nice.
And I think that's great. I think if we can build each other up and grow together, eat at the same table, that's amazing.
I like that.
That's all I want. All I want around me is a good team.
I need a videographer as well, so I might have to reach out.
Okay, relax, rebel. It's called Relax Rebel.
Hella plugging. This is the plugging section. Yeah. Let's calm. I've got time for it. It's all good.
Oh, do you know
It's
what?
all good.
I think that's a good way to end it. So,
Is that all of the endeavours and all the things you have coming up?
I mean, obviously, dance-wise, everything's lock off until whenever we can do that again. But I'm actually really, really grateful for the break, as in like lockdown came at the right time for me, because I really I got to that stage where my life was busy. Like for the last maybe 5 years, if I weren't working, I was dancing. If I weren't dancing, I was working, and I was doing gigs that were like a million miles away and having to wake up at 6 o'clock the next day, and I weren't getting in my bed until maybe 3, 4. So it was, for the last 5 years, I've just been doing that, and my body has not enjoyed it. My body feels older than what it is because of all the dancing. So I have really, really enjoyed lockdown, and I've really enjoyed actually not doing anything. I've gained weight, I've lost muscle, but I'm actually really okay with it. I'm happy because I've had this, like, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. For someone to say, you cannot do nothing for this amount of time, chill out and do nothing. All right. And that's exactly what I've done. Like I've done yoga, I've done meditation. I was never bored. That's obviously the sunshine helped. I built a better relationship with my nan. Like there's so many things that I have done during lockdown. I taught myself to do my nails. I've just really embraced having this time off and actually not having to look at my diary and not having to set an alarm.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. The no alarm.
So I'm a little bit scared, not gonna lie, because I'm due to go back to work tomorrow. Actually, I'm scared that I'm gonna miss that level of freedom. I'm excited though to get back into a routine, but now that I've taken on more, as in like I've got something for myself that I'm running now. I'm scared that I'm going to lose that balance, but I know my mindset. My mindset is completely different than before lockdown, because I've worked on my mindset so much during lockdown that I believe that I'm going to make it work and I'm going to make it balance.
You'll be cool. Just take it each day at a time.
Absolutely. Wake up each day, and I go off how I feel each day. If I wake up and and that's all I've done during lockdown. If I wake up one day and I think I don't want to do much today, like I'm gonna sit and watch telly, that's what I do. If I wake up and I want to be productive, I'll be productive. Like I just take every day as it comes.
I've been working all the way through.
Have you?
Yeah, shout out all the furlough dons.
Furlough dons.
It's been.
I was a furlough don.
It's been emotional.